Okay, today's date is Monday, April 22nd. This is Jeffrey Harris reporting for 411 Mania. This is the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast, and I've always wanted to do this. It's me, it's the J to the E to the double F-ree, and today I am riding with that B-A-double-D, the living legend, the WWE Hall of Famer, the badass Billy Gunn. Billy, how does it feel to now...
Man, that's way better. That's way better. We got to get some energy in this podcast. I'm on here. You're on here. You're doing a hell of an entrance. We're good to go now.
All right. How does it feel to now be officially a WWE Hall of Famer and a living legend?
I don't know. It feels the same. Like, I feel the same. I feel like I'm more important now. No. It's cool. It's awesome, to be recognized as one of the best, probably one of the greatest factions of all time. Now we're in the Hall of Fame, and that's really cool, and it was cool to go with all my buddies.
Now, when that happens for a gentleman like yourself, does it feel like you're closing the book on a part of your career, your life, and starting a new one? Does it feel like that at all?
That is an awesome question. That is really good, and I've never thought about that. No, I don't think. No, I think what it does, I don't feel like it's ended or I'm starting something new. I feel it, what it does is it puts the stamp on DX. It makes everybody recognize and let us recognize that everybody thought that we were something special. And we were something special. Probably one of the, I don't say the biggest part, but one of the main parts of the Attitude Era. So, no, it doesn't feel like it's an end. It just feels like it's a stamp that, hey, you guys were pretty good.
Now, I thought that was the perfect speech for you guys as a group. Did you get a kick out of Triple H's jokes and that little exchange? Because that, I think, was definitely the highlight for a lot of fans for that night.
Come on, it's not a secret.
Right.
We all know what's going on. We all know what's happening. It had nothing, it's funny and everybody's going to react to it. And it's not, it's not taboo because everybody's going, well, you work for AEW now. How can you be in the Hall of Fame? It's not about working for WWE. It's about being recognized as a part of wrestling as being one of the greatest things that ever happened to wrestling. So, yeah, it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. It was well done. It wasn't by no means meant to hurt either or feelings, either AWE's feelings or WWE's feelings, but you can't walk around like it's not something.
Well, it's
like
DX.
It's not happening, right?
But Billy, it's DX. I think I would be more upset if something wasn't referenced because that is the DX playbook, and I think in the spirit of D-Generation X, I think you guys had to say something. Instead of dancing around it,
and I thought it was done very tastefully. So it was some good, funny stuff. It was. Yes, you're right. It's typical DX stuff. You shoot at something and then you try to knock it down. So yeah, it was good.
But did you know Triple H was going to say something, or what?
We had some stuff.
Okay.
That we were gonna go to. It was. Every time we had this, we had a couple calls before the Hall of Fame just to kind of figure stuff out,
right? But
none of it came true. It's not because it doesn't work like that for us. It never has worked like that for us. We've always just been, hey, you point us in the direction, we're going to go there. We have no idea what we're going to do. So when you start planning stuff out, it takes away from what we are, because a lot of, I feel that's what a lot of things are doing right now. You're planning a bunch of stuff out. So when something organic happens, you don't react to it because it's not in the script. And we've never, ever have we been ones to go by the script.
Now transitioning a little bit over to AEW in your role as head coach. I'm just curious, like right now, do they want to have a training facility or sort of home base for things like that, or is that still a work in progress?
I think that's still a work in progress. We're still just trying to get our feet under us and head for Double or Nothing and get that under us. And I think there's a small place in Atlanta right now, but it's not a definite training facility. I think all that comes because there's still other things that are more important than a training facility. You know what I mean? So that is not high list on the priority of things to do.
I think you in this role is a perfect choice because you've done it all, you've seen it all, you've been everywhere. So I think the wealth of knowledge and experience you have is so invaluable to up and coming talents. Now, I'm just curious, from your perspective, do you think maybe wrestling talents today, are they too focused on doing crazy moves or spots and maybe less focused on telling a story or developing their characters or developing, that total package and creating that whole atmosphere you need to be a superstar?
Yeah, you said it exactly. That's exactly what it is. They're so more worried about their wrestling and how many flips and dives they can get in. And by all means, I think this is the main reason that AEW chose to bring me in. Is I don't live in the past. I'm not a hey, back in my day. I don't do that. I don't go to these kids. Hey, you don't have to do any of that because back in my day, wrestling changes. Okay, it evolves. It gets. Kids do more crazy things. They get more athletic, and I'm not opposed to it. What I am opposed to is that they just focus on the guy that's in the ring and ignore the people that paid to see them. So when you do that, I'm going to see the exact same match after match, because they're so worried about getting all their stuff in. I've got to get all this in, and it's not going to make any sense, and I'm not going to tell a single story, but I'm going to out-wrestle you and show you how many crazy things I can do. Well, that's awesome, but it's very forgettable. Like, when I go on TV, I don't want to be forgettable. I want to be the one that they remember the most. So, and I think that's where I'm going to come in, is to help them arrange stuff to where, and I'm not opposed to doing any of this stuff, but you have to do it for a reason. You can't just do it just because you can do it. I mean, I can do a backflip, but I'm never going to do a backflip because there's no rhyme nor reason for it. Now, if there ever comes a time for me to do a backflip in the middle of the ring, in the middle of a match, I'll do it. But it'll be a highlight. It'll be a highlight moment because I don't ever do it, and people don't expect that from me.
Now, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I just think I think it's not taking, by no means am I wanting to take any of their stuff away, or are we taking any of their stuff away. It's just rearranging things a little bit so it makes sense.
I'd like to get your opinion on this. One thing I think is really underrated in wrestling is facial expressions and just continuing to sell that character in the transitional moments when there's really nothing going on, and you're continuing to sell your character and to sell your gimmick, so to speak. And I think that's something you know very well and can impart very well.
Yeah, I think they miss moments.
Right.
And especially when TV kicks in and you're shooting stuff, I want to see what it means to you. That way I can feel what you're feeling, because I don't do the things that you do. So facial and body expressions, the hardest thing for people to do is to sell right and to do nothing without doing something. Like, they always have to be doing something. They have to be hitting somebody 100 times or moving around all over the place, and not like they don't know what to do without doing anything. I know that sounds weird, but in wrestling terms, it's very it's very significant. But I think that's the problem. They go from moment to moment and blow through it, which in turn, if I don't have any emotion or I don't have any connection to you, and that's how I connect to you, feeling what you feel, do what you do, not physically, but emotionally. And when I'm emotionally invested in what you're doing, the sky is the limit, and that's how you become a superstar.
It's hard to believe this was actually a little over 5 years ago now, but in early 2014, you and Road Dogg had a little bit of a reunion and a comeback for the New Age Outlaws. You guys had a nice little run with the unified tag team titles. I was always curious, how did that run back in 2014 come about?
Well, it was just because I got hired back at the Performance Center. And then I was hired at the Performance Center, and then nobody told the Performance Center I was hired, and nobody told me, but I was getting paid, and I was underemployment. And then I think what happened is the tag teams were getting a little lackadaisical, and nobody really cared. And what the Road Warriors job was for us when we were just starting out, to help move us up, is the same thing that we did with the Usos and the rest of the tag team division. It was just to work with them, to get eyes on them, because it was like I'm not a dummy, so I know what it was, and I'm cool with helping talent because that's what I do, and I do it really well. So I think it was just it was a feel-good moment for people that had kids that were watching it now to sit there and have a moment with their kids that goes, hey, this is what I grew up watching. Now you're watching this, but this is what I grew up on. And it's a cool little feel-good moment. So that's kind of what it was. And then all of a sudden they put the tag team titles on us, which I don't know where that came from. But it was cool. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Anytime I get to do stuff with Road Dogg, it is so much fun. That's all we do, is we show people, hey, this is fun if you let it be fun.
And I think you guys had a very good series of matches with Cody Rhodes and Goldust, especially that amazing cage match, which
it was a lot of fun.
That was a fantastic match. Was that how you sort of forged your relationship with Cody Rhodes, or were you friendly before then? I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I've always, I don't really have any enemies in this business because I've cleaned up my act a little bit. So, no, I mean, we've always gotten along good. I think when they started developing all this, and I was kind of, I guess, what you call a free agent, it was unanimous between them and the Young Bucks, and to bring me in, which is that's so exciting. To know that at this stage of my career that people actually think that highly of me. I know it's weird, but it's kind of cool that the first name on the list to get things done was me. So that was super awesome, and I'm very appreciative of that.
In the modern era of wrestling, WWE has sometimes not had the best, I guess I would say, relationship with tag teams, and I guess knowing what to do with tag teams. But I think New Age Outlaws as an act was definitely one of the hottest acts in the company, and I think easily a hot main event level act.
I do too. That's been a thing with WWE. It's almost like tag teams are just the sideshow.
Right.
They're the bearded lady and the strong guy that picks up stuff. They're not the tiger or the elephant act. We're kind of the sideshow. But I think after all the push that came behind me and Brian, I call him Brian because he's office now, so he's no longer known as Road Dogg. But I think you had to take notice. I mean, you really did, especially with what we were doing. We were getting so hot at the time, and then joining DX, and that's what we were. We were a tag, and I think it got super hot. And I think there's a place. They've always been so focused on the world title that they've never really put any emphasis on the tag titles. But I feel that's kind of coming back around a little bit with all the tags that they have up there. And I just feel that me and Brian kind of lit a fire under them a little bit.
Now, speaking on that, the moment that I think really cemented the Outlaws for me when I was a kid watching then WWF was, I think, February 1998 was the dumpster incident with Cactus Jack and Terry Funk, where you guys put him in a dumpster and shoved him off the stage, and it was different, and a whole lot of time was spent on that, and it was sort of insane to watch that unfold on TV. What do you remember about that moment, and did you think that was a big moment for your career?
Yeah, I tell everybody that. Like, when people ask me, they go, well, what's your favorite match, or what's your favorite moment, or what? It's that, because that literally put us on the map. I don't know what it was. It was a different feeling after that night. It was a different vibe to what we were doing. People were it wasn't like the New Age dumpster match. We actually tossed them 12 feet off of a stage. So it was a long way, and I think people were amazed at how crazy that was, and that's what it was. It literally made me and Brian.
Was there ever a moment for you guys as a team or a unit where you thought, man, we're really clicking with DX, or we're really clicking with the Outlaws? And I mean, you guys would come out and the crowd was just chanting along with every word. They could say every word of Road Dogg's promo, and it's rare to see that even today. But does anything maybe other than the dumpster incident stick out for you in your mind? Like, man, this is really working. We're really over.
Yeah, I think like I said, after that, people, yeah, they were goo-goo over us because we did different stuff. It wasn't like, for me and Brian, it was never really the wrestling. It was about how involved or how interactive can we be with the people. Hence, Brian's whole front monologue of what he always did and saying stuff like that was amazing. And everybody in the building, even the people that worked the building and were working security and working backstage, they were also doing the same thing. So they were all saying his stuff. So like at the time, me and Brian were just having fun. We were lit. Like, I don't know how to put it any other way other than we were having a whole lot of fun, because I would go out and try to make him laugh. He would try to make me laugh. He would try to make the entire building laugh, and then he'd try to make everybody in the back laugh. It was never about our wrestling, and I think that's what attracted people to us, to understand that when we came out, they were about to have a whole lot of fun. We were having fun, and you can join along if you want to. If you don't, that's your bad, not mine.
I've also really been enjoying seeing more of you on Being the Elite. I think I just love that video series, and I love the sense of humor. And I think there was that one moment where you're sitting at a table, I think, with Hangman and Cody, and you're the kind of intermediary. How do you like that kind of humor? And I mean, I love it, but I'm curious what you think.
And the only backlash I got is from people saying that, hey, because it is, people have to take that stuff with a grain of salt. It's just having fun, and I understand, and I don't know how it offends some people, but I guess it does, because I literally just went, Hangman, you're fat, and it's not. I don't mean it. It's not for real. It was just a spoof. It was just to have some fun, and I love doing stuff like that because it's just different. It's not wrestling. I'm going to see 47 hours of wrestling. I want to see something that's entertaining. I want to see something that I can get involved with. I want to see something different. Yes, you still have to have wrestling because that's what it says on the marquee, but there's nothing that says I can't have some fun in between all that stuff.
Now, I was there live for the NJPW, for the New Japan shows, the G1 special. I think that almost 2 years ago, and you were there for those shows. And I was just really impressed with the work you did that weekend and getting to have a match with Hiroshi Tanahashi. And,
my favorite wrestler, by the way.
I mean, you're still, I feel like you're still performing at a high level. And how did you like getting to work with him? And I think I don't need to have like a 5-star match of the year candidate every night. And I just want to. Right. I want to be into it and involved, and I think you guys did that. So how did you like getting to work with him that weekend?
It's amazing. Like, that was one of the things that I've always wanted to do, and I was lucky enough to go over and do the tag league for a month, and then I came back and did the Tokyo Dome show, and then did the show after that, and then came back, and they invited me to the G1 to do the 6-man the first night and work Tanahashi, which I think is amazing. He was super cool because the only reason that came about is because he wanted to work me. I think, and it was all amazing, and I loved it, and I love New Japan. I think they're an awesome organization. They treat people with respect, and they're super cool. And the thing about them is they build the entire card. The only thing I wish maybe the second night when I worked Tanahashi is that we were placed at semi-main, and after seeing all the, like, they do some crazy stuff that just, but not that I can't do it, I just don't do it because it's not my style. Like, I don't need to do it. So I think a lot of the blowback was that we didn't have that kind of match. That we had a match where we told a story. We had a match where it was him and me and trying to beat each other and telling a simple story. And I think the thing is being a main event, and you'd already seen, you'd seen Kenny Omega and God, what was his name? But they just tore the building apart. Like, every match was built to that, and I think we might have slowed the pace down a little bit. So I think that as a fan perspective, I completely understand that. Like, I understand that we're in such a flow and we're on such a high. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to tell me a story and you're going to go to regular wrestling. Yeah, well, that's what we're going to do.
It worked. I mean, it worked for me. And then I think that the same night we had, because we had Kenny Omega and I think Ishii, and they just beat the hell out of each other, I think, for 30 minutes straight. So I enjoyed the match and what you guys did. I thought it was a very good match.
But do you know what I understand about a flow? Do you understand what I
Yeah.
Now, mind you, more people enjoyed it than didn't like it, but it's you getting a flow in the way that they were building that show, because After Us was Okada, and I mean that was amazing too. So I mean it was just a flow for me. I understood it, and I understood where people were coming from, but it wasn't. The match was not bad. The match was good, and it was solid, and it was exactly what we wanted to do. It kind of interrupted the flow just a little bit. Yeah, I have no regrets, not one, because I think he's awesome, and I wanted to work him so bad. So it was really good.
Now, I'm just curious, do you think at all there's any bit in the online wrestling community with fans, maybe, are they not managing their expectations well for All Elite Wrestling? And are they maybe expecting a little too much, or
No,
is it
and
right?
you know what
Yeah.
it is everybody that has a computer or a smartphone or whatever,
Right.
they all think they can weigh in on their opinions. And everybody has their opinions. I don't mind opinions. I love opinions. I think everybody should have one. But to go to the extreme and to like say really bad and negative things and stuff that they really know nothing about, they're just going to throw it out there just so, maybe I'll get a response for this, so let me see how ignorant I can actually be just to get a response. Well, that's not really a way to get a response. And AEW is going to be what AEW is. It's going to be something refreshing. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see some different stuff other than WWE programming, because that's all we have right now. And it's going to be special. Nobody's going to put the reins on these kids. They're going to get to do what they do best. That's what they're getting hired for. I want you to do what you do. Yes, I'm not going to put the reins on you, but I'm going to help you kind of put things together a little bit. Not just me, but everybody in general. And everybody in this company is headed for the same thing. We just want an alternative. We just want to have fun, and there's room for us to do that.
Now, for Double or Nothing, by the way, I will be live at Double or Nothing next
awesome.
month. By the way, I'm already set for that, and I'm very excited. So I'm just curious, as head coach, will you have a role at Double or Nothing? Like, will we see your fingerprints on the event when we're watching?
You might see more than my fingerprints on you just might see me all over there. I mean, I don't know exactly what they got for me. I know that I'll, kind of be rounded up the back, helping everybody in the back. But I think there might be a spot for me out there somewhere. Not sure what, but there might be.
Are you saying you're going to be working in the ring at Double or Nothing? Are we going to see?
I might be.
Okay, well,
it's not been announced yet, so don't anybody take that with a grain of salt.
And also over the weekend, we made the announcement that Dustin Rhodes will be working the event, and he'll be joining the company. Would you say, is he officially a member of the roster now?
I wouldn't say he's officially a member of the roster. I wouldn't say that.
Okay. I
would say that we're going to get Cody and Dustin in a match.
Dream match, by the way. That's a dream match.
What I mean? And it's going to be really good. And I think there's a like, for me, wrestling still has to have a story. You have to have something I can sink my teeth into, or I can get into, and this is something I can really get into.
Now, I mean, not to bag on WWE, but I think it's good that there's something like an AEW around, because it feels like now, that wrestlers are getting opportunities to work outside and make a name for themselves outside of WWE, and I think that's good for the wrestlers and good for the business overall.
Oh, it's great for the business. It's some of these kids might not get opportunities. Not that they're not good. It's just like everybody on planet Earth can't work for WWE.
Right.
Like you just can't. You might be able to get in the performance center, but you're not going to go to the main roster. It's just a fact. That's just the way it is. And everybody's not good. As much as everybody that laces up boots would love to go to WWE, they're not going to. And I'm not saying we're taking secondhand people either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this opens the door for you to showcase people that actually have talent that they're not showcasing there. And I think that we'll be able to showcase them, and a lot of people are getting a lot of opportunities. Now, what you do with that opportunity is your own, and you have to do something with it. It's not just given to you. You know what I mean? So you get an opportunity, and you have to grab the bull by the horns, the old saying, and go at it.
Was it interesting that you got... Oh, sorry, my computer was acting up. That you got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame the same night as Honky Tonk Man, considering, you know, you guys had a relationship going...
And Torrie. Like,
and Torrie Wilson.
It was like a who's who has Billy worked with.
It's quite... I think that's really cool that you guys all went in on the same night. Did you get to have some words with them backstage?
Yeah, we talked. I'm going to... Torrie is doing really good. She has this video that she does some... exercise stuff, some fitness stuff with, and I talked to her about maybe hooking up with her and doing a couple things with her, which would be super good. She's so awesome. Honky's awesome too. You know, me and Honky were just thrown in a no-win situation. So we were both combating against each other, butting heads, and it wasn't because I didn't like him, and it wasn't because he didn't like me. It just, we all knew it collaborative, I guess that's the word. I'm not very good with words, if you know me. But it wasn't going to work. But we were trying to push through it, and both of us just being miserable.
Well, I mean, I think it worked out in the long run for you, because I mean, from there you joined up with Road Dogg.
Too bad, did they?
Well, I mean, I think it works because, I mean, I think everything, you know, creates an opportunity, and I think that night where you joined up with Road Dogg and formed the new Age Outlaws, I mean, that was a significant turning point for you, and I'm not sure would it have been the same had you not have been with Honky Tonk Man at that point? I'm not sure. So I think, you know, I think it's just kind of everything happening for a reason, and just, you know, seizing on those opportunities and turning points. And I think it worked out for you in the long run.
You're right. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason. I think being that I was going nowhere there and Brian was going nowhere there, and then they go, well, let's just throw them together and see what we have there. And because me and Brian were working each other opening match every night, and it was nothing. Like, it was very mundane. Nobody cared. It was just kind of one of those things. But for some reason, when they put us together from night one, it was unbelievable. It just kept, it was one of those things that we were on the brink of getting fired. So it didn't matter what we did. So we just went, well, we're getting fired, so who cares what we do? What is it like they're going to fire us, so we might as well go out in a blaze of glory. But it was every night was more and more and more, and then you saw what happened. We become one of the hottest tags of all time, I feel, entertainment-wise. And then we joined one of the greatest groups, factions of all time, and then all of a sudden we're in the Hall of Fame. So it worked out pretty good.
Now, last question. Now, growing up, was there ever a talent or performer in wrestling who really captured your imagination and sort of lit that fire under you that you knew you wanted to do this?
No, because I don't know if you've ever heard, but I've never even watched wrestling. Wow. Or never even knew what it was.
Wow.
I literally got into wrestling strictly because I had nothing else to do.
I think that's a pretty amazing story. And here
like people literally think you're out of your mind. You had to accept. No, I never watched it. I thought it was silly. So I never got into it. Luckily, Ron and Don Harris, some friends that I've known forever, they were working up in Nashville in that territory. They came in my gym that I was working at and go, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? And I said, no, and don't ever ask me that again. And for some reason, out of a whim, just like you said, just things happen. I happened to go to a ring with them one day, and they beat the crap out of me. I mean, beat the life out of me for about 3 hours. And they go, what do you think? And I went, this is not it. This is not. And they go, yeah. And then from that moment on, I was hooked. I couldn't get enough of it.
I think that's a pretty amazing story, and I don't think I ever even knew that about you, Billy.
Yeah.
Billy, thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations on the WWE Hall of Fame, in your new role as the head coach of AEW. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to get to Vegas in a few weeks to see that event, and I'll hopefully see you there.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. This was awesome.
And just last thing,
I'm glad you had some fun finally.
I mean, this is a dream. This is a really like a bucket list moment for me. So thank you. And just real quick, is there any plugs or anything you want to share with the fans, like where they can reach you or where they can check you out online?
You can get a hold of me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Real Billy Gunn. I don't have a lot of stuff going on. I've got, my son's in the business, Austin, if you want to follow him, Austin Gunn. He's going to be ridiculous. That kid is amazing. And I'm not just saying that because he's my kid. He is amazing. So other than that, and then go to Pro Wrestling Tees where all my shirts are at and support AEW because it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you. I have been riding today with that BADD. This is the 411 Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much, Billy Gunn. Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.